So the other day I was just chilling and started randomly fantasizing about slicing things with sharp objects, and not in like a 13 Reasons Why kind of way, but more like a samurai or even Fruit Ninja kind of way. Which is why today I decided to play Sifu and not only beat it, but torture myself once more into platinuming the game. There's a total of 43 trophies including the Platinum Trophy. The game comes in at a measly 3 out of 10 difficulty with around 15 hours to complete, and that playthrough counter is complete BS by the way, but it's okay. This is also a part of my challenge to platinum pretty much every single notable single player game that I haven't already before I hit 100,000 subscribers, because I have no life, so make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Alright, so let's begin the Sifu Platinum Trophy grind. The first stage is just beat the game whilst also killing every boss on the way. This is the natural and normal ending for the game. There is an option to spare the bosses, but you kind of have to go out of your way to do that, so we won't worry about it. The game first opens with us playing as a character that is barging into somebody's home and just taking them all out to the graveyard. Yup, we're home invading. I heard it's trending. This is like the reverse version of squatting. We're just killing. But this also served as a little tutorial into this game's combat. However, the combat itself is, I guess, simple. Yet you do have to really practice the timing of parrying and dodging, since it's quite hard to get good at that. So after we just walked around and took out everyone like you'd expect, we eventually reached this old dude who owns the place, and his name is none other than Sifu. Get it? Get it? That's the name of the game. Oh my god. And as you would expect, we then fought him and, well, we beat him pretty easily. But as he dropped to the ground, the camera zoomed in onto a cabinet and we saw a little child. This has got to be the eagle-eye vision Dr. Disrespect has or something. Hey, yo! But then the first trophy of the game also popped because that was the end of the intro. I then got to select to be a boy or a girl, and I chose to be a boy because being a girl is hard. You have to get periods and you can't even poop. I then watched as one of the evil guy's friends just came over and killed me, only for us to find out that we weren't actually dead thanks to this little relic we had been holding on to. And this is also how the game works with dying. Every death equals 1 year of age, and you can die all the way up until you turn like 70, but then after that it's just game over for real. So now it's present day and we are positioned inside the home base we have. This is where you can pick missions, change outfits, skills, and just overall has everything instead of a cringe menu to pick the stuff through, so it's kind of cool. But obviously all we have now is just the first level to play, and it's called the squats. This is a very intro level, as you can tell while playing it, because there really isn't much of a challenge at all throughout it. But there was a very cool 2D camera change that happened, and I honestly wish they did this more often because this was the only time they did it, and yeah, I guess go off, queen. Eventually, after some fighting with big, strong, sexy men, I ended up getting a chance to buy some skills for the very first time. Skills in this game play a huge part, as you would expect a fighting game to have, but just from purchasing one skill, you get a trophy, so that's cool. I am now a wreck. Alright, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this, but I did die on the first level. Yes, I know, I can already hear the comments about how trash I am at fighting games and this game, but it's okay, I can die over 40 times and still win, so suck it. On the first level, one of the final rooms is called the Hangar, and it's actually kind of full of enemies, so there's a trophy attributed to it from eliminating all the threats here in less than 1 minute and 20 seconds. Now, I love finishing things fast, so it was no trouble for me to get this done in that amount of time, and here's that trophy. Easy peasy if I do say so for myself. And that was the last major room before the boss fight room. This is sort of how the game works, by the way. You do a ton of fighting against grunts pretty much until clearing them all out and moving on to the special final boss room. But the first level had a fight against the guy who killed us back in the intro of the game. Turns out he just loves herbology. What a legend. There was also 2 stages to this fight, much like every fight in terms of bosses in this game. But the first stage was indoors in the plant room, and I'm not lying when I say I did this entire first stage without dying. Yup, I'm a god. Ignore my health, it doesn't matter. So once I engaged the kill move, we got a cutscene in a super clean transition, might I add. But then we would end up in a jungle, and I'm pretty sure this dude is tripping balls on some drug right now, but it's fine. There's also a trophy in the game from beating a boss without dying, and I got it. Almost. Yeah, I choked once here and was a bit upset, I'm not gonna lie. However, I did win in the end, and it only cost me 1 year of my life, so actually that's not good at all. Imagine punching someone and then losing a year of your life expectancy. That's crazy. Alright, so now it's time to do level 2, which is called the Club because it's inside of a nightclub. This level also has by far the most enemies in it, and it's kind of cancerous. If you don't believe me, just look at how many damn times I died. Yeah, like double and or even triple to the amount I died in the first level. I know people are back in school now, so you tell me I'm retarded. But I did get 2 trophies just during this level, and the first one was right after I performed 3 takedowns in 12 seconds. Now that's what I call finishing fast. I then just bought the most expensive or last upgrade in one of these 3 major categories right here at the special green altar thingy. Anyways, this level's boss fight was against a man holding a giant staff. I honestly have no idea his relation to anything in the story at all, but it's fine because the fight was still entertaining to my ADHD mind. And not only because I died a few times and got angry, but also because the second stage was inside of like a fire. And I'm not too sure the good old town's fire department could even handle it. Honestly, you might just have to let this one burn out, you know? But the fight isn't actually that bad. I was just, you know, personally failing at blocking. It was sad. I did do it eventually, however, as you would expect, and there is the levels trophy once we took out that man's throat. Also, this trophy's title, The Hateful Pole Fighter, sounds just like this angry stripper I met last.
Stop the cap.
Anyways, back to the game. The next level was inside of a museum that was honestly super cool aesthetically. However, the enemies and more of the boss itself was some of the most annoying things in this game's entirety. I did get a few trophies here during the level, however, to make my day a little bit better. First was a trophy from throwing weapons at an enemy a lot. The trophy's description doesn't even say how many times. It deadass just says keep on doing it. God, I love that so much. Also, I should have mentioned this, but during stage 1, or rather just during the first playthrough of this game, you should also be trying to grab as many collectibles as you can. I didn't follow any guides because the game runs through certain rooms and forward progresses, meaning they don't really hide collectibles from you, so that's a benefit. And I grabbed this special mask in the museum level, which unlocked a combat skill and was also a trophy from unlocking it by picking the mask up. Hopefully that makes sense because I have no idea what the hell just came out of my mouth. Oh, and reviewing the footage, I actually stand corrected. There was another one of those cool 2D fight sections right here. I honestly forgot this was a thing because later in the reruns, you can just skip through this level, so my apologies. I did end up making it to this level's boss fight finally, and I'm not sure if it's the most annoying thing in the game because the next one is also pretty bad, but this one is definitely up there. The first stage is the easy part because it's just against this succulent Asian lady who pretty much just plays in the snow with you. But then the second part is against some demonic version of that cute little Asian woman from earlier, and it honestly made me cry. I started bawling my little eyes out. The hardest part about this fight is just the whole thing, and I did it after dying a few times. But here's that trophy, and I hate that level so much, we're just gonna move on now. The fourth level, and second to last one, by the way, is called the Tower. And it's called that because we are in a tower. But it's funny because you actually don't go up the tower. Oh no, instead you spend your whole time traveling down. So far down, as a matter of fact, we end up underground. And while I was down here, I was jumping all over the place because they didn't really make it a clear path of travel, so I ended up getting a trophy from doing parkour a lot. How nice. Anyways, this level didn't have very annoying enemies. They were for the most part pretty general or stereotypical, like a bitch named Emma.
Oh my god!
But the boss fight, oh my god, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. It's against this crippling and withering away old woman whose entire attack plan is just swing this bell at you over and over. And I mean quite literally over and over. It's all she does the entire time, and it's so annoying. I almost shit my pants out of anger. That's a new strategy, but I refuse to break another controller. They know me by name at Best Buy now. It's sad.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, this fight sucked. I ended up dying 4 times here, almost 5, before finally getting the woman in a chokehold and squeezing her last breath out early, so here's that level's trophy. I was then on the final level called Sanctuary, and it was honestly kind of underwhelming. The level overall was pretty boring. We were basically at some care facility or training place, and yeah, it was just boring throughout it. The only cool part was the end fight, which wasn't even that cool really. It was just super hard and annoying. I think I got extra annoyed though because I was trying to stay under age 25 for a certain difficulty trophy, and I failed at that obviously. But the fight itself is against that evil guy we played as in the intro, and this is also our brother, we would go on to find out, at least I think. I don't really know, it's kind of vague with the explaining, and I'm already mentally ill, which doesn't help. But the fight just required you to block good and parry well, both of which I could barely do. I did manage to get him gone though after only reaching age 27, so it could have been much worse. There was then a final cutscene where we saw the guy go into a little trance and become a child again. I then got the trophy from that battle obviously, and another from just beating the game in general. So now it's time for stage 2 of the game, which is to spare all the bosses. And it's a bit unclear on how to do this, so I didn't do it on the first guy. But I did get a trophy before that from finding all of the collectibles in the first level right here. I also bought some skill thing that was a trophy, but who cares, that's boring. And as I said, I forgot to spare the boss here in the first level. However, I did beat the guy without dying, so I still got a trophy. Just kind of, you know, ruined the rest of the run, but it's whatever, we move on. And almost immediately on the second level, I bought another dumb skill thing for a trophy that still nobody cares about. And I again didn't spare the boss because I still don't know how the hell you do. But I did buy another skill thing, and oh my god, I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. This is just how it happened, I swear. On the next level though, I did finally figure out how to spare a boss, and you literally just have to not kill them when given the chance to, and instead just knock them again, then hit the spare button. I then played the next level as you do, and during it I jumped off a cliff and got a trophy from skipping part of the level at the cost of death. How wonderful. I then spared the boss, but this lady can still die and eat shit. I hate her. But you know, there's the trophy. I would also go on to find out that the final boss cannot be spared unless all the other ones have, so I had to just fight it out normally and decided it was a perfect time to go for that under 125 age trophy from beating him at an age under 25. And I did. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but I'm also just the best gamer of all time, so here's that trophy. Back in the home base, I then got a trophy from just using photo mode. Kind of random, but that's okay. So now it's time to redo that spare boss run because I f***ed up royally last time. And here's the 2 trophies I got from sparing the bosses that I didn't spare in my original run. I then made it to the last guy after a legit 3 hours, and once you spare him, it actually goes into a 3rd stage, which is insanely hard. You can't die here, but you also have to just parry him to do damage because he is just attacking the entire time, and it's actually super hard to do. I spent forever just getting beat up, and at one point I thought I was just gonna be here in purgatory for the remainder of my life, but I did do it somehow. I don't know how. And here's that final spare boss trophy I needed. So now it's time for stage 3, which is kind of a cleanup. I mostly just needed to get some collectibles along with numerous different combat trophies, some of which suck ballsack. So the first trophy I got was from throwing enemies around, and I think it was 15 times. This is done from parrying an enemy and then pressing square and X to throw them, so it's pretty simple. I then got a level specific trophy at the club from taking out the Juggernaut enemy first within the pit fight. The Juggernaut enemy, by the way, is just a fat guy, so here's that trophy. On the final level, I also found all the collectibles and got that collectible trophy right here. The collectible trophies, by the way, are sort of scattered around badly because some levels require things from other ones, and it's a bit of a mess, to be honest. I then spent 30 minutes straight still on that last level, just dying over and over to get the trophy from reaching the end. And I mean, the end. I then returned back to the club level since I grabbed some required things on other ones and got the last collectible I needed from there. And that same last collectible, which was a key, can now be used in the tower level to get that level's last collectibles. It's so out of order, I actually hate it, but whatever, I did it. And in same succession, I found all of the collectibles on the museum level because you did need a key from the tower to get into that room, which is dumb. I then did a level so good that I racked up 10,000 score, and that's honestly kind of hard to do because you lose score so much if you get hit, and I got hit a lot because I suck. But it was a trophy for getting 10,000 score to begin with. I was then trying to go after a trophy from doing every single type of finishing move. And this is kind of AIDS because it does not track for you to see, and there was 41 total different types of takedowns. But I didn't try to stress about it and just went for finishing moves on everything possible at random positions that I thought I might not have done. And it turns out that was a good method because I got the trophy randomly right here after doing one with a knife. GG, well played. Next, I got a trophy from throwing an enemy off of a ledge into the fountain on the museum level. Pretty simple, you just throw the guy. I then got another combat one from doing every type of focus move. This is a move done by charging up the focus bar from parrying and stuff. There is 8 different focus moves, I think. There might be 9, but I forgot. Anyways, the trophy isn't hard to do. I also got a 1-shot 1-kill with a knife after, which is done from charging up the knife attack and then unleashing it when an enemy is nearby. Very satisfying, might I add. I also threw an enemy off the ledge on the final level into the mountains, which was a very similar trophy to the fountain one I just got. And I only have a few trophies left now, one of which is from getting 20,000 score on a level. And this is almost impossible to do unless you're like a god at this game, because the max combo is now ×3 instead of ×5 like it was on launch. But you can literally just use cheats to get the score up easier, and I did that, I'm not gonna lie. So here's that 20,000 score trophy. Shameless, I know, shameless. And my final trophy was then one from hitting 3 enemies at one time with a weapon. And the method of doing this is taking a broom and going through this corner on the final level, but holy sh**, I just could not get it to work. The enemies must have known what I was up to because them guys did not try to group up ever, and it low-key pissed me off. I spent over an hour trying to do this, by the way, and it just did not happen, so I gave up on the platinum. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I got it eventually. So yeah, there's that final trophy, and the platinum trophy popped right after. That was the Sifu platinum trophy experience. I gotta say, this game is definitely fun and a good fighting game, but damn does it get annoying when you just can't stop dying. And going after those collectibles and takedown trophies almost made this one of the more annoying things I've done. However, I do think I got a bit lucky with them, so I got off easy. Rating Sifu out of 10, I'm gonna give it a solid 6. It wasn't my most favorite game ever, and the story was kind of simple, almost too simple, like a bitch named M.